Hello, Wealth Channel. Today we will learn about the explosive developments unfolding in Salem as Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025 brings forth a web of deception, haunting nightmares, and budding romance that will leave viewers on the edge of their seats. Tate Black's growing suspicions, the unraveling of a complex deception. The adoption storyline takes a dramatic turn as Tate Black finds himself caught in an increasingly elaborate web of lies orchestrated by those he trusted most. What began as a seemingly straightforward adoption process has morphed into a labyrinthine scheme that threatens to destroy the fragile bonds between father and son. Brady Black's paternal instincts have been working overtime, and his persistent questioning has finally begun to yield disturbing results that will shake the very foundation of their family dynamic. The revelation comes in the most unexpected way when Brady discovers the harsh reality behind what appeared to be a cherished family photograph. The framed picture that Tate has been treasuring, believing it to showcase his child with the adoptive family, turns out to be nothing more than a generic stock photo that came with the frame from the store. This devastating discovery serves as a stark reminder of how deep the deception runs and how carefully crafted every element of this elaborate ruse has been. Brady's investigation has led him down a rabbit hole of inconsistencies and red flags that can no longer be ignored. The moment when Sophia accidentally referred to the baby as he instead of she was the crack in the facade that Brady needed to pursue his suspicions further. This slip of the tongue has now opened the floodgates to a more comprehensive examination of the entire adoption narrative that has been carefully constructed around them. The emotional impact on Tate cannot be understated as he grapples with the realization that he has been systematically deceived about the most important aspects of his child's life. The young man who has tried so hard to be understanding and supportive throughout this entire ordeal now faces the crushing reality that his trust has been manipulated and exploited by those who should have been protecting his interests. Melinda Trask's desperate damage control, a house of cards beginning to collapse. Melinda Trask finds herself in an increasingly precarious position as the carefully orchestrated adoption scam begins to show visible cracks under Brady's relentless scrutiny. Her role as the puppet master behind this elaborate deception has required her to maintain multiple layers of lies while simultaneously coordinating with various accomplices to ensure their stories remain consistent and believable. The panic that sets in when Sophia confesses her verbal slip-up about the baby's gender reveals just how fragile this entire operation truly is. Melinda's attempts to maintain her composure while internally scrambling to devise new strategies for damage control demonstrate the high-stakes nature of this conspiracy. Every conversation, every interaction, and every piece of documentation must be carefully managed to prevent the entire scheme from unraveling completely. What makes Melinda's situation even more dangerous is the involvement of Steve Johnson, whose investigative skills and resources pose a significant threat to the continuation of their deception. Steve's reputation as a thorough and persistent investigator means that any inconsistencies or suspicious elements in their story will eventually be uncovered and exposed. The clock is ticking, and Melinda knows that her window of opportunity to maintain control over this situation is rapidly closing. The psychological pressure of maintaining such an elaborate lie while dealing with an increasingly suspicious Brady Black creates a powder keg situation that could explode at any moment. Melinda must now balance her desire to protect the secret with the growing reality that their cover story may no longer be sustainable in the face of mounting evidence and persistent questioning. Marlena Evans' disturbing dreams. The Queen of the Night returns to haunt Salem. Marlena Evans continues to be tormented by increasingly vivid and disturbing dreams that transport her back to one of the darkest chapters in her life. These recurring nightmares about her time as the Queen of the Night under Stefano Di Mera's control represent more than just random dream sequences. They appear to be harbingers of something far more sinister approaching Salem's horizon. The psychological impact of these dreams extends far beyond simple nightmares, as they seem to be accompanied by physical symptoms that have medical professionals concerned about Marlena's overall well-being. The dizzy spells, balance issues, and other mysterious ailments that have been plaguing her since John's death suggest that these dreams may be manifestations of a deeper spiritual or supernatural disturbance that defies conventional medical explanation. Susan Banks' psychic abilities have detected something troubling in Marlena's aura, describing disturbances in her mind, body, and soul that seem to correlate with the intensification of these Queen of the Night visions. The fact that Susan, with her supernatural sensitivity, feels uncomfortable after physical contact with Marlena indicates that whatever is affecting the beloved psychiatrist goes far beyond normal grief or psychological trauma. The timing of these dreams is particularly significant, as they began manifesting shortly after John's funeral and have been growing progressively more intense and frequent. This pattern suggests that John's death may have somehow opened a spiritual doorway or weakened protective barriers that previously shielded Marlena from Stefano's lingering influence. The possibility that the DiMera patriarch's evil presence could still reach across the veil of death to torment his former queen creates an atmosphere of supernatural dread that permeates throughout Salem. Chad DiMera and Kat Green. A romance blooming amidst complexity. The relationship between Chad DiMera and Kat Green has reached a pivotal turning point that promises to reshape both of their futures in unexpected ways. Their chance encounter at the mini golf course represents more than mere coincidence. It serves as a catalyst for finally addressing the undeniable chemistry and emotional connection that has been building between them for months despite the complicated history they share. The passionate kiss they shared while Kat was under the influence of cold medicine created an unspoken tension that has been simmering beneath the surface of their interactions. Now, with both parties fully conscious and aware of their actions, they can no longer pretend that their feelings are merely platonic or circumstantial. This moment of truth forces them to confront the reality that their bond has evolved far beyond friendship into something deeper and more meaningful. Chad's admission that he believes the universe brought them together reflects his growing willingness to embrace this unexpected romance, despite the potential complications it may create. His journey from suspicion and distrust following Kat's deception as fake Abigail to genuine romantic interest demonstrates significant character growth and his capacity for forgiveness and second chances. However, their budding romance faces significant obstacles, not least of which is Julie Williams' continued hostility toward Kat and her belief that the relationship is inappropriate. Julie's protective instincts toward Chad and her loyalty to Abigail's memory create a formidable opposition that could complicate their relationship dynamics. Additionally, Kat's secret ISA assignment investigating E.J. DiMera, Chad's brother, adds another layer of complexity that could potentially destroy their relationship if discovered. The impending arrival of Jack and Jennifer Devereaux in Salem adds another dimension of potential conflict, as Chad will need to explain his romantic involvement with the woman who once impersonated their deceased daughter. This conversation promises to be emotionally charged and could test the strength of Chad's commitment to his relationship with Kat. The shadow of change, Billy Flynn's departure and Connor Floyd's arrival. The behind-the-scenes casting change that will see Connor Floyd replace Billy Flynn as Chad DiMera adds an intriguing meta-narrative to these romantic developments. Flynn's decade-long portrayal of Chad has established the character as a central figure in Salem's landscape, making this transition particularly significant for longtime viewers who have followed Chad's journey through love, loss, and redemption. Floyd's background playing Chance Chancellor on The Young and The Restless brings a different energy and interpretation to the role that could influence how Chad's relationship with Kat develops. The timing of this casting change coincides perfectly with Chad's romantic storyline, potentially allowing for a fresh perspective on this relationship dynamic as it continues to evolve. The advanced production schedule of Days of Our Lives means that viewers may not see Floyd's interpretation of Chad until well into 2026, creating an interesting period where Flynn's final performances will establish the foundation for Chad and Kat's relationship, while Floyd will inherit the responsibility of continuing this romantic storyline. Looking ahead, consequences and revelations. As these storylines continue to develop, the interconnected nature of Salem's residents ensures that the fallout from these revelations will ripple throughout the community in unexpected ways. Tate's discovery of the truth about his child will undoubtedly have far-reaching consequences for his relationships with both Brady and Sophia, while potentially exposing a conspiracy that involves multiple Salem residents. Marlena's supernatural experiences may herald the return of darker forces to Salem, potentially threatening the safety and stability of the entire community. The Queen of the Night Dreams could be preparation for a supernatural storyline that brings back elements of Salem's mystical past in ways that challenge our beloved characters' understanding of reality itself. Chad and Kat's relationship stands at a crossroads where honesty, trust, and communication will determine whether their love can overcome the secrets, lies, and external opposition that threaten to tear them apart. Their story represents hope for redemption and second chances while acknowledging that true love requires courage to face difficult truths and make hard choices. These intertwining storylines create a rich tapestry of drama, romance, and supernatural intrigue that exemplifies why Days of Our Lives continues to captivate audiences after decades on the air. Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025 promises to be a pivotal episode that sets the stage for even more dramatic developments in the weeks to come. Monday, September 1st, 2025. Family fun, unexpected meetings, and familiar faces return to Salem. Welcome back to another exciting installment of Days of Our Lives. As the calendar flips to September, Salem ushers in a brand new week filled with family traditions, heartfelt reunions, and emotional reminders of the past. Today's episode brought together playful family bonding at the mini golf course, touching father-son conversations, and the surprise return of a familiar face. Fans who cherish the show's legacy of balancing humor, romance, and raw emotion will not be disappointed. Brady's day interrupted. The episode began with Brady, who found her quiet moment unexpectedly interrupted. While she was trying to gather her thoughts, both her family's adoption lawyer and her closest friend appeared at her side almost simultaneously. Their timing couldn't have been more disruptive, and yet, in the spirit of Salem, interruptions often lead to the kind of life-changing discussions that ripple through the community. Longtime viewers know that Brady's journey has been one marked by heartbreak and resilience, and this scene suggested that new decisions about her family's future may soon be taking shape. A visit to the nursing home. Meanwhile, Kat, Aaron, and Felicity returned from an emotional visit to see their mother's new apartment at a nearby nursing home. The visit carried mixed emotions. While it was comforting to know that their mother was settling into a safe environment with care and companionship, there was an undeniable undercurrent of sadness as they accepted the changes that aging brings. The trio's return to town, however, wasn't without joy. The family was especially excited to welcome Aaron back. Though he was only in town temporarily before moving into a dorm, his presence felt like a long-missing puzzle piece finally sliding back into place. For Kat, who had been balancing responsibility and hope in equal measure, Aaron's return provided a sense of stability she deeply needed. Remembering Mark and looking ahead. As siblings often do, their conversation quickly shifted from the present to the past. Together, they remembered Mark, who was still absent from their lives. Kat, always the steady voice of optimism, reminded them that his parole hearing was approaching. Her words carried both longing and determination, a heartfelt wish that Mark might soon rejoin the family circle. But rather than linger in sorrow, Kat made the wise decision to steer the conversation toward joy. "It's time for some family fun," she declared, urging everyone to head out together to the mini golf course. It was a reminder that even in times of uncertainty, finding moments of laughter and bonding is essential. Father and son in Horton Square. Elsewhere in Salem, Chad was busy with a more ordinary, yet equally significant task: shopping for school supplies with his son Thomas in Horton Square. What began as a simple errand turned into a heartfelt father-son conversation. Thomas confided that he was still upset over a disagreement he'd had with Rachel at the pool. In his innocence, he thought he was being comforting when he told her that her mother wasn't gone forever. But instead of offering solace, his words had only stirred Rachel's grief and frustration. Chad, drawing on both his wisdom and his own complicated history, explained gently that Rachel was struggling with deep emotions. "She's going through a lot," he reminded Thomas, encouraging patience and compassion. It was a classic Days of Our Lives moment. A tender conversation layered with life lessons, showing how one generation passes on the wisdom of resilience and understanding to the next. A day at the mini-golf course. Back at the mini-golf course, the stage was set for lighthearted fun. Kat, Aaron, and Felicity arrived ready to play. Kat instructed her siblings to head outside and get started, but there was a small hiccup. They were out of pencils to keep score. Determined not to let a missing pencil ruin the day, Kat stepped inside to track one down, keeping the playful mood alive. This scene reminded viewers why Salem's family traditions hold such an important place in the story. Whether through large holiday dinners, emotional homecomings, or something as simple as a game of mini-golf, Days of Our Lives has always captured the heart of togetherness. An unexpected encounter. Just as Kat was looking for a pencil, fate intervened. Chad and Thomas walked into the very same mini-golf course. The chance encounter carried both tension and nostalgia, reminding fans how intertwined the lives of Salem's residents remain. Chad explained that the mini-golf outing wasn't just any game for his family. For him and his children, this trip marked an annual tradition, a way to mark the beginning of a new school year with fun and laughter. Normally, his daughter Charlotte would have joined them, but she was tied up with a playdate. That left Chad and Thomas to carry on the ritual, unaware that Kat and her siblings had chosen the same day for their own outing. When the two groups crossed paths, the air was thick with curiosity. Kat explained that she was there with Felicity and Aaron, and that she too was just searching for a pencil to keep score. For a brief moment, the everyday errand became symbolic, a small object representing order, memory, and tradition. Chad, ever practical, instructed Thomas to go and find Felicity and Aaron outside, while he stayed behind with Kat to continue the pencil hunt. Their brief moment alone hinted at the possibility of deeper conversations and rekindled connections waiting just beneath the surface. Why this episode matters. While today's episode may not have been filled with the kind of explosive drama that grabs headlines, it was rich in the quiet, meaningful moments that make Days of Our Lives such an enduring treasure. The return of Aaron, the remembrance of Mark, the tender father-son conversation between Chad and Thomas, and the playful yet emotional family outing all reminded viewers that Salem is built not only on scandals and secrets, but also on love, family, and tradition. Longtime fans know that these simple scenes often serve as the foundation for bigger storylines to come. A missing pencil may seem like a small detail now, but as history has shown us, nothing in Salem stays simple for long.